Welcome to the Hashimoto's Doctor Podcast. You're now part of a growing community of people determined to take their health back through education and self-empowerment. But because of the healthcare system today, we don't have access to the types of healthcare that we want. So we have to do things differently. We've got to do things smarter, and we do that by becoming our own advocates. This podcast will give you the perspective and thoughts of one of the world's leading Hashimoto's doctors. So let's get started. Hey guys, Dr. Shook here. Hope you're doing well today. In today's podcast, what I want to do is continue on our discussion of the Hashimoto's Doctor method. This is actually going to be part 2 of 3. Our previous podcast, I discussed part 1 of 3, where I talked about the first phase of the 3-phase system that I utilize to help people go from not feeling well, not doing well, not having energy, to really thriving and being much more vibrant with Hashimoto's and autoimmunity. So, in our last podcast, we talked about phase 1, which was the detection phase. And within the detection phase, there are 3 phases: detect, remove, repair. Those are the general phases of the program. Within each phase, there are 3 steps. So we covered the detect framework on our last podcast. If you're curious about that, you can go back and listen. And in this podcast, what we're going to do is we're going to cover the repair stage. Okay, so step 1 is figuring out what's wrong, which is what most people need to do. They need to figure out what's wrong. They need to detect the drivers of their problems. They need to do a multiple or multi-system investigation. They need to test multiple systems. They need to do laboratory testing that investigates the potential involvement of multiple systems towards the contribution of their autoimmunity, of their thyroid dysfunction, so that you can figure out what to do. Without that information, without that data, you're really going to have a hard time getting well and getting really vibrant, having very, very good health. It's a challenge with testing. I mean, it's not like testing is this the end all and be all, because some people get testing and they still don't feel well, and it's probably because there's limited testing or because they just haven't given it enough time. The healing process can happen for some people very quickly. Like, we can see people really turn around quickly in 1 month or 2 months, and then other people, you're looking at a 2-year process to really make significant changes. And then there are some people that have such significant tissue destruction, their problems are so progressed that it seems like you can't help them. Like, there's not much that you're going to be able to do. And I don't want to say that there's nothing that you can do, even if you're in a very, your state of health is in decline, significant decline, because I think that, good nutrition, good diet, understanding physiological breakdowns within the body and supporting those is good for you at no matter where you are in your progression of a disease state or of Hashimoto's, let's say. So, I'm truly an optimist, and I always try to think, and I try to be realistic, but I try to be, at the same time, I always am, pulling for people, and I always want to try to help, no matter where they are. So, anyway, detection is key, right? The first step is detection is the key. Because from that detection, from doing a very thorough history evaluation, from doing a very in-depth consultation where we really dig and look at your history and everything that's happened to you throughout your life that could be contributing to these problems that you're having, we formulate and determine what testing is going to be most appropriate for you, based on all those things, so that we can have the best opportunity and chance of uncovering the drivers of the processes that are contributing to the way that you feel. So that first step leads up to determining the testing that's needed, right? So that we can be more specific in a plan to try and help you recover your health. So the second step is repair. So remove. Detect, that is the first phase, and then remove is the second phase, which we're going to talk about, and then there's repair. So the remove phase, there are 3 steps. Step 1 is going to be review. So once you get all your testing done, I'm going to gather all that together. So what I do is I gather it all together, and I will review your test results with you. I will explain what's going on, and it really is in depth, quite frankly. I tend to do a video recording of of the results and share those with you. Sometimes we don't have an opportunity to do that, but we'll go over them in great detail so that you'll know exactly what I'm thinking based on your test results and each one of the tests. And then what we do is from that data, we take it and we formulate a plan that is very specific to you based on the things that are happening. Right? Does that make sense? I mean, if you've got problems, obviously, we need to support those problems. So that's where we use that data to formulate very specific nutritional supplementation plans, dietary plans, and sometimes those test results, they require us, we end up needing to, pull in other specialties. Maybe you do need to see another type of doctor in combination with, working with me, because I don't replace your medical care. And I also am not going to, prescribe any kind of medications. So what I'm going to be doing is very complementary. It doesn't replace your medical doctor or your specialist, but it absolutely is oftentimes I can provide a great deal of clarity on things that are contributing to the way that you feel, so that we can do things from a natural perspective, and then we can all work together to try and help you improve your health. So step one is review all the results, formulate the plan, and then what we do is we utilize the testing. We're going to utilize the testing data to formulate a very specific plan with a dietary approach and nutritional supplementation, which I will advise and recommend you on after I've had a chance to review all your testing. And then the third step of the remove phase is actually where you are going to be implementing it. So it takes you taking the suggestion that I gave you, or that I developed, the plan I developed for you, and implementing that into a diet, a daily routine. Now, we give you all the tools to make that happen because we've worked with so many people. We know how to help you implement these things and integrate these things into your daily routine. I mean, we have it all laid out for you, actually, but you have to actually take it and do it. You have to get the supplementation that I recommend and take it in an organized fashion. You have to do the work. And so most people that I work with, we never ever make it to getting testing or even an appointment with me, because I let people know up front. Like you're listening to me here, and we don't even know each other probably, but I let people know up front that I cannot help you if you are not committed to change. If you're not committed to doing whatever it takes to get your health back. That means eating differently. That means taking nutritional supplements at a minimum. Oftentimes that means, committing to, focusing on times that you're going to go to sleep and focusing on getting rest. It requires focus and a desire to want to change. And if you don't have that, and you don't have that commitment, then there's no way I can help you, and we shouldn't even talk. But anyway, so, that's the second stage, this remove stage, is removing the things that are interfering with optimal function of your body. So review the results, formulate a very specific plan, dietary and nutritional supplementation and lifestyle-based plan for you based on those test results. Then you start implementing the plan. Those are the three steps in the remove phase. So that's phase 2. Those are the three steps within the remove phase. Now, the next thing, what we're going to talk about in the next podcast, is our third phase, which is the repair phase. So we detected the problems. We're removing the problems in this stage, and in our next phase, we're going to be repairing the damage. And this is where it gets really exciting, because this is where things start to change a lot. So anyway, I hope this helps you to have some better clarity on the Hashimoto's doctor method that we came up with, that I utilize. It is a framework that we have used to help people go from feeling terrible to much better health. It is a framework that is easy to understand. It's very logical. It's founded in testing, and in laboratory analysis, and so you never get lost. You always know where you are. There's never you never get lost when you're utilizing this framework. So I want to share that with you. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're learning a lot from my podcast, from our videos that we have online. We've got hundreds of videos on YouTube, on Facebook, and I'm constantly trying to teach. So I'm committed to changing the world one person at a time. I know if I help you, that will have a positive impact on your family. Ultimately, that will change your community and the world one person at a time. I want you to be better educated so that you can be your own advocate. Not an adversary, but an advocate for yourself. And you can be a better partner with your doctor, not an adversary. It's really unfortunate that there are people in the natural healthcare world that are advocating, adversarial, adversaries of your doctors. Let me tell you, they're all good people and they all want to help you, but they may be confused with some of the things that you come into their office with, and especially if you tell them you listen to some guy on the internet or on a podcast, they're going to be very skeptical. And you know what? That's awesome, because that means they care about you, right? They're trying to protect you. So be patient, educate yourself, and just keep working on improving, on working towards that goal of improving your health. Be persistent and be grateful every day. I think it's one of the best things that you can do. Let go of resentment and anger and try to be as positive as you possibly can. So anyway, I appreciate you hanging out with me today. I really enjoy doing these, and I hope this is adding some value to your life and giving you some clarity. And I look forward to hanging out with you on the next podcast. Thanks. Thanks so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed hanging out behind the scenes with Dr. Shook. You can also talk with and learn from Dr. Shook through Facebook Live on our Facebook page at the Office of Dr. Brad Shook. Don't forget, you can also get access to our videos, guidebooks, and thyroid programs at www.drbradshook.com. Oh yeah, and don't forget one more thing. We can change the world one person, one family, and one community at a time. Until next time, remember, today is your day, and no one will tell you who you are and what you can be.